There it is. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to Matters Workshop. I'm John. We'll be turning some fountain pens first today, and then we're going to be moving to, yeah, there we go. Moving to some diamond painting pens. So that is what we got in store for this Monday. Not that early in the store, so if that's what you're here for, I'm sorry. I don't have anything. I'm not the one that does that part, so. There it is. Woo! Hit you with the light. Boom. Perfect. Lawrence, what's up, dude? Hope you're doing well today, man. Alrighty, alrighty. Looking good. Got the plaid and the jacket. It's a little warm today, or a little cool today. So, yeah. A little rainy outside too, unfortunately. So. There's also that. There's also that. But let's hop on over to the what we're gonna be working on, I reckon. We're gonna be starting over here with the. That's good to hear, man. Good to hear you're doing better. There we go. Get rid of that. Good. All right. Make sure everything is working how I want it to. Looks like, yep. I'm going to tilt this camera down just a bit more. There we go. Sweet. All right, so we've got the mandrel still set up from last week. If you were here on Friday, I was working on shaping some pins, some fountain pins. I shaped a couple of them, but we got a few more to go before we get to turning diamond painting pins. And the diamond painting pins this week are gonna be very reminiscent of like fall or and stuff like that. Not or and. It's got some like maple leaves in there, which are pretty cool looking. And then the color scheme is also pretty awesome. So looking forward to getting those cranked. But for now, going to be working on the other stuff. Lawrence, she did not. Sorry about that, man. I'll have a chat with her. Way we can get that ironed out. All right. Well, it is actually changing a bit. The coffee is warming me right up, getting my heart pumping. It's like cardio in a cup, you know. It's a joke. It's a joke, by the way. It's not how that works. Yeah. Anywho, it's a funny little thought, I reckon. Oh yeah. So this is what we were working on before, and what we're going to continue on. So all of these are going to end up being marauders. Marauder is my flat-ended profile shape name. Yes. All right. I think that's all the formalities out of the way now. Put that back in there. Anybody else start their day with some coffee and Baileys? I'm just kidding. Get some Baileys in there. Yes. All right. Yeah, these are looking pretty neat. These are cleaning up nicely. There's like glitter in there as well. The interesting part about it, I would say, is that this is quite clear or transparent, but you do have the thin flakes, the gold flakes in here, which is pretty neat. It gives it a different appearance, we'll say, for sure. Now, I'll have a word with her. I'll get her to come out here in a little bit. But yeah. So the reason we're doing a Monday stream is because my dad isn't going to be here today. He has some paperwork to take care of because someone ran into a vehicle that he is partially responsible for, unfortunately, and nobody was injured. Nobody was in the vehicle. They just ran into a parked car. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. What can you do? I should also mention I've done a couple streams now, or I guess a stream now, on Twitch where if you couldn't get enough of me in the workshop, well, make myself available to when I'm playing video games. It's pretty fun. I enjoy it. But yeah, get a little peek inside the old office I got. But yeah, without further ado, let's get going. Morty is the sound that you're hearing back in the background right now. It's the dust collection. A little swig. One more swig. One more swig. We can do it. Boom. Sweet. Yeah. Like when I play games, I'm like still thinking about other stuff. Like I'm just thinking about like different designs, different implementations of sorts, and stuff like that. I did send an email out to a bigger company that hopefully will be able to help me with another project. So that'll be fun to see what comes back with that. So a little bit of logistics, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Not as cool or fun, but it is what it is. Just a necessity of the whole thing. Alright, there we go. The sleeves are way up. They're above the elbow. I don't know how people have them below the elbow. Unless it's like right at your I guess the lower half of your forearm. Let me help this just a little bit more. You know, the other thing I was thinking about too is, you know, having the my stream or game in like a different section of my YouTube. Because Twitch is obviously good for video games, but it's not like, I don't know. I gotta try it out. Might always run 1,000 miles an hour. I hear you, man. I hear you. Me too. A lot of stuff to think about. Did change this so it's going to be a little sharper. got our commissions out, so that's always nice when you don't have that there anymore, because the sooner you can get those done, the happier the people will be, and the sooner you can get it into their hands. So. Man, should I have started on this today? Whew. Should have got some practice before going in. Done it many, many times, yet sometimes there's always still something. Still something that just is needs a little bit of warming up, you know? This is just to kind of get the pin a little bit flatter, get the surface cleaner. It makes it easier for sanding later when you have it nice and flat, consistent. But definitely not necessary. You can probably get away with it. Well, you absolutely can get away without doing it, because that's what I used to do. Move below center. Well, dang, Sean, how you been, man? Hope you're doing good. Move below center. Let's see. You want it this way, or the other way, or we could even do something a little different. Again, a little of this. Oh, not that. Some of that action. There we go. You can drop that baby down. Yeah, what's up, Sean? How you been, man? Oh, man. Whew. Doing work on your parents' house? Hey, you and Brian both. That's awesome. I bet your parents are grateful to have you around for things like that. Mark, how you doing? Get off. Boom. What the heck? SOOO better. I'm getting hits off on the Discord right now. That's funny. All right. So for those of you that use resin stuff, I want to point out that the temperatures are changing. So with that, you're going to want to try to keep your resin warm. That way you can have good casts every time. Because if the chemical reaction doesn't happen at a high enough temperature for casting, then what's going to happen is then either the resin won't cure or it won't cure properly, And that kind of leads to some unfortunate times, I'd say. Whoa, Sean, remodeling the whole thing. Wow. Man. I've wondered about that a little bit. Sometimes I wonder if it's better or if it's, I suppose it would depend on the house, but, you know, doing a remodel versus getting another one. Only 88 here today. Man, it's like 55 here. A little chilly in the shop, but not cold enough to get the heater going though. Got the caffeine going, so that'll be satisfactory for now. Let's see what weather we got. 55. Yep. 55. Yeah, it's been a while, man. Combination of me, you know, not streaming a bit after the Orlando show, and then yeah, I hadn't seen you in a bit either. That's hi. Glad to see you. Hope everything's been fantastic. Still using the swamp cooler? Right on. That's awesome. A little jelly, but not super jelly. It's nice having the different weather in there. That's the other thing about turning stuff that's cold, is it can chip. You might find that it chips a little bit more. But not always. Ooh, yeah, now she's coming through. And then we got a little chipper right there. That's okay. That'll come out, no problemo. Need to move here so I can show you the setup live. I hear you. Tool below center. It sometimes is, sometimes it isn't. It just depends on what I'm cutting. Lower the rest. Man, you're awfully demanding over there. Move your camera. Lower this. And barely got a greeting. Golly. That caused the chip? Yeah, maybe. Probably not, but maybe. Hey, what's up? How you doing, man? No, I have my tool that way because I don't have it perfectly perpendicular. And that's intentional because I don't actually turn perfectly perpendicular all the time. Yeah. Let's see. Mike. Mike. Saw some of that chatter going on in Discord. What's going on there? Plywood. What's up, Plywood? Been here a lot trying to help. File's your favorite trick? Heck yeah. No, you're probably not wrong, man. I could move it around. I do change my tool pretty often, or the tool rest, when I'm turning larger diamond painting pins, that is. But, yeah. But I don't have it perfectly like that because I do want to be able to dip my tool down. I don't ride the bevel pretty much ever. So there is that. Right on, Sean. I'll see you around, man. Have a good day. Enjoy the remodeling, I guess. Man, I could do some remodeling of my body. It's going to take longer than remodeling the house, though. Hey, Plywood, I think I've seen Plywood around, but I don't know if I've ever... Have I gotten your name before? Put a recent project shot from yesterday. Been found some wood that's curly, look like saw marks. Gotcha. Oh man. Okay. Nice. You watch and comment on a lot of makers? Well, that's awesome, man. I appreciate it, and I'm sure other makers do as well. Good to have you here. I know for sure I've seen your name here. Yeah, lots of cool fellers in the house today. Shipping can happen for a variety of reasons, by the way. So Sean's not off when he's talking about the tool rest, but because I pretty much never like contact the bevel of my stuff, I don't ever really turn with it like that and then slowly bring it down. I have it just a different way because I tilt my tool all the time and stuff like that. Like one size doesn't fit all, you know? I could potentially even have straighter lines, I suppose, if I did ride the bevel more often, but that's all right. But yeah, you just want to go. You want to go buy plywood. Gotcha. That's all right. I'm John. We got Mark. We got Mike. We got Lawrence. We got, who else we got in here? Sean. He just headed out, but might be on in the background. I don't know. My goodness, why does that keep popping up? Why does this sponsored stuff keep popping up? The reason my diamond tool sometimes chips is because I got it at a different angle, or I'll push too fast, and because I use it, I start like, you know, a little higher with the tool pointed a little more upward, and then as you start like going deeper, you have to like maintain that pace and consistency to go down so it doesn't, but it still happens sometimes. It is what it is. Like that, kind of caught right there. Boom. Tom! Right on, Tom. Good to meet you. Do you turn as well, or do you do other types of woodworking, or what types of things do you like to do, man? So something that's kind of funny is that there's a couple people now have mentioned that they wanted me to help them get set up for streaming. Like, yeah, I can show you what I know, I guess. It's pretty limited. I know enough to like go live and then be able to work the software. Yeah, I also thought it was kind of funny that there's quite a few people interested in that type of thing. Never been in a position like that. You're at a standstill until you get the plug in your back porch fixed. Oh no! Don't you have an extension cord? Just run it until you get that sorted. You don't? All right, all right. It'll be, heck yeah, man. That's awesome. What kind of stuff are you going to have in your shop? What really sings, craft-wise, what really sings to you? Burn a couple extension cords for that? Oh man. Man, I can't show you my setup. My extension cord setup, that is. at least until after. You know, it's not the way it is. So. Don't want to incriminate myself, you know. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Not surprised. I'm surprised I haven't burnt up more, actually. But blow the fuse pretty often. At least we did a couple years ago before we got the propane heater in here, because for whatever reason heaters like to draw more power than some other stuff. And then the other thing is when I've got everything turned on, like I've got Morty turned on, and then I've got my lathe, and then I can turn on my shop vac. And then if Abby's over there sanding, what'll happen is you'll notice the RPM go down, which is kind of weird. But oh, not that one. So far, you have a job site table saw. Heck yeah, radial arm saw. Sweet, mitered. Sweet, man. Sounds like you're getting it. Getting it all set up for something. Bigger projects, at least. I gotta say, turning is probably one of the, when it comes to tools needed, you need a shop vac, which I think is arguably cheaper than a lot of other peripheral tools that go with other stuff, and then a bandsaw. And then you don't really even need a bandsaw unless you're like chopping your own stuff, because you could potentially just cut it on the lathe as well. Wouldn't be as efficient, but it would do. I'll sometimes spin it on the lathe. Oops. I'll spin it on the lathe in order to do. We'll go backwards half the day. I got some higher today, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah, a bandsaw maybe, and then I don't know, a lathe. I ended up getting a grinder. Didn't need it. Hardly ever use it. I have a belt sander. Pretty much never use it. I have a hand saw that like the 8-inch disc hand saw. That's the electrical power. Pretty much never use that. I use it for building the table, Abby's table over there. But yeah, I just, ended up buying more than I needed to. And I suppose that's how it goes, isn't it? Like, man, I need this and this and this. And then it got to a point where I was like, you know what? You should only buy it if you need it for that project, and then you kind of see yourself using it again. Otherwise, you should just borrow it from somebody, probably. Oh, man. I want a bandsaw and a belt sander. I hear you. I have a Central Machinery. It's a belt sander, and it also has a disc. I think it's a 6-inch disc on it. Although I don't recommend that one. You can bog it down pretty easily because it's just not very powerful. So you really got to take your time on it. Yeah, bandsaws.
Dang, Lawrence, you set up. You know, something that I found to be a bummer is that I had to get such a big bandsaw to cut a block that was about 5 inches tall, let's say, and that's all I needed it for. I just needed it to cut a 5-inch tall block, and I cut that very infrequently. But the other bandsaw I had was only like a 2.5 or 3-inch clearance, and that just was not going to work. But I still use it. I use it more often, partially because the blade for the big one that I've got, the big Laguna I've got, is, I think it's 115 inches, but I have a Resaw King carbide tip blade on it that I want to say it was like $200. But it does allow for some really clean cuts, and yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it. Taking your time, because I think in some cases you can overwhelm yourself with all the different tools that you have. So I think that's the, kind of the best way to go about it, is have a project that you're working on. You get that particular tool, and then you spend time getting to know the new tool, and you work with it on that project. And then once you do that, then you're more comfortable with it. You don't have to learn all the other ones at the same time. Like, if I got a metal lathe, a wood lathe, all kinds of saws and everything at the same time, it would be pretty overwhelming, especially coming from, I don't have a workshop necessarily background, but like that. Like all the turning tools that I bought too, it's like you get a starter set of wood turning tools, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to use any of these. And then, I didn't end up using any of them. All right, first pin completed. Your own second lathe? You saying you're getting another lathe? All right, here we go. Now it's time to send these over to the next station. Well, that one. Got a few more to go. You were in the wood shop? Heck yeah. See, I wish I had the opportunity to do something like that. I did not. However, my dad did have a bandsaw, and I would make like bandsaw boxes. for girls. Make them little bandsaw jewelry boxes. But, you know, it's not super complicated to do. But that's where I kind of got interested. And then in my military career, we used a lot of small handheld power tools. So like, you know, the fire department type of tools where you got the extrication stuff. You've got little generators with the hydraulics and stuff like that to power your jaws of life. And we had quickie saws, sawzalls, angle grinders, and we would use that on vehicles and up armored vehicles and stuff like that. So a little bit different, I'll say. just a little bit different than a normal workshop. But yeah, I think it would have been pretty cool. And you know, it's actually crossed my mind to go try to be in workshop for a high school, because with my existing degrees that I have, I can teach high school, but on the other hand, my familiarity with a lot of those other tools, I don't think would be very good for trying to educate a younger generation. But, you know, but I like the idea of it. But I wouldn't. You know, be able to share a whole lot because, you know, I'm just not savvy with a lot of that stuff. So, I mean, I could obviously learn it, but as far as being a walk-on, you know, it'd be pretty nice to be able to do something like that and just be a walk-on. You got a warranty problem? What warranty problem, Lawrence? And is it just me, or do warranties like not really sell you on something? Like, I appreciate a good warranty, and some people, they try to differentiate their products with the nice big old warranty, but I mean, I don't know. When I hear warranties, I'm like, well, it's expected to last about this long. Or somewhere, something like that. It's like, well, breaking it in this window of time, then. But I mean, I had a warranty on this lathe, and then the bearings went out. Not out. They just got real knocky, and so I had them, or I called them, and then they sent me more bearings. So I was content with that, but I'd say mostly I just keep the manual and remember the part number, and then get one that's better to begin with. I've gone through a few different bearings on this particular lathe. Like, I tried to get them to, like, I didn't want to have, in my mind, right? In my mind, a warranty, they're going to, like, help fix your problem. But, you know, I would say YouTube actually helped me more fix my problem than what they were able to. But they did send me some bearings, and then I bought my own bearings. And so these are all different sets. This is a set, and then these are set. But I think the next time that happens, I'll probably just replace the lathe because, you know, after turning over 20,000 pins on the lathe, it's about time. About time for a, I don't know. It's got character and all that, but literally the first day I got the lathe, I didn't take the grub screw out of the face plate, and I cranked it, and so my my threads on the spindle, I chewed them up. Obviously, everything still screws in, but it's a constant reminder of the first day I got my lathe. I opened it up, took it out of the box, and then I just started like trying to undo it. I didn't take out like a little safety screw, and so it was still grabbing a hold of the spindle threads. And I was like, I messed that up. It wasn't covered under warranty, by the way, which I'm not surprised. I did it myself, but you know, I figured while I had them on the horn, I'd ask them about it and ask them if they would be willing to send me one because I messed it up. But they're like, no, what you should do is go get one of these little thingies right here. This is a thread chaser. So I don't know if you've ever seen one of these. I never heard of it. It's a, let's see, it's a thread file. So it's got, you know, like 18 and 16, 8, 10, 24, 27, and then, yeah, I was able to, I didn't need to, but I was able to like kind of file it down a little bit. And you'll see it when I take the this collet chuck off. Yeah, am I the only one that's not sold on warranties very well? That's not really a selling point to me. Like, I appreciate Robust has got like, what, a 6 or 7 year warranty, and Jet's got a 3-year, and, you know, sure. I appreciate those, but let's be real. How many times do you actually use a warranty? And also, the things that you do use a warranty for, how much are those items in the first place? So for me, the bearings, I think I got 2 more sets for like $20. And it was, I didn't have to worry about the communication aspect. I didn't have to do all that stuff. And this kind of goes into the whole thing of like, I guess I'm glad that there are some people that complain because it also helps maintain a higher standard. So if you are the type that'll go and try to get that up for a $5 item, thanks. You're keeping people like me getting nice quality equipment in the first place. So the shoulder from the barrel to the cap, the step up here is about 0.5 millimeter. So circumferentially, diameter wise, this could be about 14 and a half, and then this would be 15 and a half, because diameter, you know, you kind of got to multiply it by 2. one of my other problems, I would say, is this brass is 15 mil, and then it goes into this this collet. But I think that the brass is a little bit too small, because I can sometimes push it and the collet's like all the way tight. So I've tried expanding or wrapping something around it to make it a little bit thicker, but I ended up making something offset. So now I don't do that anymore. And I just mean power tools, by the way. Like, for example, on my motorcycle, my first motorcycle, there was a recall that the person that I bought the motorcycle from never went and took care of it. But the recall was the front brake could randomly like lock. And so, yeah, once I heard that, I was like, yeah, we're gonna go get that taken care of. So they just swapped out some of the hoses and whatever they had to do, because I didn't want to be head over heels, man. I didn't want to break my femurs either. But you know, it wasn't me that actually discovered that was a recall thing. One of my well, my wife's grandfather, I believe, and he rebuilds motorcycles, or used to rebuild motorcycles and things like that. He was an engineer before, and he's the one that told me about it. So you should take a look into that. I think that was the year where they did a recall on those so they can replace that. So, sure enough. You had a couple things break, a handle and the knockout rod. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, not cool. Not cool, man. But yeah, they should absolutely take care of that. I guess that's the other thing too, is I haven't really encountered anything that really needed a whole lot. And I knew before buying the Jet that the bearings were inconsistent, we'll say. Sometimes you get a good set, sometimes you wouldn't. But, you know, everything else kind of led me to getting the Jet anyways. It was the right price range for me, it was the right size, it was all that stuff. I've even thought about making a video on like getting your first lathe, and one of the reasons why I haven't is because I think people would be like, oh no, this is the best one, oh no, this is the best one. And sure, there's all that engagement, but it's like, best for what or who? So I think that would be my approach to the video. It's like showing options and then kind of giving little pearls that I've come across. And I've had this Jet for 5 years, and the only thing I've really had problems with was the bearings. Other than that, it was all induced by me, unfortunately. The learning curve for me was, well, it was a learning curve, we'll say. Like when I swapped out the bearings in it, I had to smack this so hard after getting everything like unscrewed and everything. And then I'm pretty sure I hit the crap out of the sensor that tracks the speed. So now my readout just says E9 or something. E5? It's an error code. Because like right now it says I'm going 588, but I know that it's closer to 1500 because I've used it. E6, by the way. But yeah, it's an error code. And really not worth it for me to try and fix it because it still works the way I want it to. There we go. Boom. All right, changing gears. $6,004? I think that's actually what these are. Yeah. Yeah, 6,004, man. One of them is. The other one's like 6,005. Yep. There's a 6,005. Man, that's a crazy memory. I did not recall that. But yeah, as soon as you said it, that's what jogged my memory. Yeah. Has 6,004 in the bearings. Well, I didn't know that initially. I looked in the manual. So keeping the manual was a good thing. I'm pretty sure you can just look up, like, you just type online, and you'll find bearings that are like that too. Or find people that sell the bearings like that. But yeah, I want some big old industrial sized bearings, but on a lathe that's about this size. So I've been looking at the one way. I was looking at the robust Scout, which is not going to happen. Unless they give me one. Which I don't foresee happening. Let's see. I was looking at the Laguna, and I was also looking at the, what's the yellow one? Powermatic. So supposedly Powermatic used to be made in Tennessee, and then their lathes are now made in Japan. So if that was a thing. But Robust, on the other hand, I still think that they're made like, is it Kentucky or something? I've got it written down because I was doing some research for that video that I'm not, or that I haven't made. But it's interesting. I started getting kind of back into looking for another lathe. One, when I had to swap out my bearings on this one earlier this year. And then again, when my dad is, if you don't know, my dad has been coming over and hanging out with me in the shop, working on different projects and kind of being an extra set of hands for some things as he learns more about what it is that I do. So he's actually looking at getting one. So so yeah, we're looking at the wind for him. The wind, yeah. And for his purposes, I think the wind will be fine. It's a good price point. It's a good capability. Or it's got the capabilities he would need. And then one of the winds that we were looking at has a Morse taper 1, but the quick fix for that is just getting a it's like a little collar that'll step it up to a Morse taper 2. So he'll be able to use all my stuff, or you can just spend the extra like $50 or so, and then be able to use everything in T2. We've also made pins from basically light pine, or some pieces call it fat pine or lighter. It's funny you say that. I've got one of my earlier projects. Somebody on YouTube was like, "Oh yeah, just get some pine. That's some cheap project wood that you can use." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So I did it, and I was like, "This is shit." Not only my skills, but this stuff turns like shit. So now it's just like a tool catcher. Now I gotta say that the layers on the side look pretty neat. It did used to look better, by the way, but I ran out of, well, I didn't care about it anymore. Because I was in training mode, man. I was in training mode. I wanted to try everything. My whole career was all about training. Like, some people go to the office to, I don't know what people go to the office to do, but I went in and I would train all the time. And then if I wasn't training, I was building syllabi. I was helping people, or helping create a course for something else. So. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. There we go. There's that blue one. So, a little quick trick if you want to see what it would look like before actually sanding and polishing it, get it wet. And I use an oil because it's a little thicker. But yeah, I just use like a mineral oil if I wanted to see like what it's going to look like. So you kind of see the magic happen in real time. The oil's a little bit thicker than water. So over here, and then it gets shined up. Now it's going to look more like that. So pretty neat if you were interested in trying that out yourself. I wouldn't try it on wood necessarily because you don't really want it to absorb, but but on plastic it's not a big deal. And then you just wipe it off. Yeah, this is glow in the dark. And then we do have other glow resin too. That's green. That was when we made blanks that were only glow in the dark. All the noodles were glowing in the trash. Whoop. Oh, you can kind of see a little bit of green on the bottom right there. Ah! No, it doesn't want to work, but you got to see a little bit. But this one's a blue version of that, and Abby will do pictures of those once they're all done. You'll be able to see that. But I did show the thermal shift the other day, and we have some blanks that were like that. So I thought it would be pretty cool. But then I started using it for like science. I used it because I wanted somebody to hold a pen. And so I wanted to see how they were holding it. And so what that did is it kind of showed me where the most pressure was when they were holding it. So that's how I ended up using the color shift stuff. Which, you know, I think that was pretty clever. But yeah. You gonna wear it out just looking at it, man? You're funny. That's one thing actually that I like about ebonite is that the more you're using ebonite, well, at least within reason, I have found that it, you know, gets better with use. So like sometimes you'll feel that it's a little tight or a little catchy or something like that, but over time it just kind of wears away to where it just works nice and smoothly. So. But yeah, man, are you using it too? You writing with it? I thought that would be a pretty cool part of making pins too, is, you know, having pen pals. Sounds cheesy, but whatever. I guess I like little things like that you gotta work on the connection between your brain and your hands and bringing stuff to life. And I just think fountain pens are one of the most fun ways to go about doing it. You're just afraid to try to use it? Oh man, that's what I sent it to you for. I gave it to you for you to use it. Yeah, man. It was one of the red ones, wasn't it? Kind of funny. They, let's let's see. Wasn't it? Oh, not that one. Wasn't it made out of this guy? This blank here? Pretty sure that's the one I sent to you. But it shouldn't leak. Believe it or not, I've actually, now I'm not suggesting that you do this, but I've used it as an eyedropper and it didn't have any issues. It's a right-handed Oh man. Well, I mean, the other thing too, when it comes to that, you can change the grind. So the nib grind itself is in a neutral, like down the middle, but you can make them to where they have a favoring on the other side because of that type of thing. I don't know. Let's see. Do I have one out here? That's going to be tiny and not visible. Yeah, this is going to be too small. So this is the finest grind I have on any of my pens. And it was done by a nibmeister named Kirk Spear. But yeah, you can write so small with this. Let me get in my notebook and show you. Because that's just a whole new avenue of just interesting stuff. We got this, and I can write. Stop spinning. I can write so small. So so this belongs to so and then if you wanted to like see it a little differently, there we go. So this is dot grid paper, and then for the sake of referencing size, they're 5 millimeter. So the grid square is 5 mil. Yeah. And you can actually write. You can write quite a few. Like you can write A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. So inside that, I wrote the alphabet A, B, C, D, E, all the way to P. And that's a 5 by 5. There we go. So it did end up focusing a bit more, but that's the finest nib grind I've found. So pretty dang tiny. But it's a matter of also having the control with your hand to do it. And that's the smallest grind I've got, and probably the smallest one you can get. If I had to compare it to, like, it's probably like a 1/4 millimeter or something like that. But yeah, it's got to be one of my favorites, actually. Favorite grinds. Because when I'm writing or drafting or drawing, I like to use a graphing pencil that Let's see, it's a 0.3 mil. I don't want to go back on the other side. Yeah, pretty small, huh? I've got, I think the last show I went to, I got like different grinds from him. I've gotten a few grinds from other nib meisters as well. But really, my everyday carry fountain pen is this little guy. It's not even one I made. Probably could make it, but I didn't. But this is a Kaweco Lilliput, and it's got a comparable size to like a Jowo number 5, but it uses a Bach. So I think it's a Bach 5 maybe. If they do it like that. And then I actually just use the things that come with it because they're super inexpensive. But this pen is actually copper, which is pretty neat. It's a single start, by the way, so it'll also post to make it a little larger. One of the things that I actually like to do is take pins like this apart and then remake different components for it. Is that something that y'all would be interested in seeing? Because I have made different components for this. Well, yeah, I made different components for this, but I just use it as is. But yeah, I'm a fine nib kind of guy. I don't like broad too much. The Esterbrook niblet uses a Jowo number 6 or a Jowo. Depends on if you're from German or not, I guess. Let's see. Do I have anything else out here right now? Maybe. This is usually the pencil that I use for drawing out stuff. It's got that metal piece that extends. Background? No, not really. But yeah, so this and then the lead itself, I'll send a lot out. It's really, really small. It's a 0.3 millimeter lead. And then this pencil I thought was pretty darn cool too. I'd have to do a closer video of it though. But it's got a little cogwheel on the inside that makes it so you can, like when you're writing, it'll automatically send out more lead like when you lift it up. So you put pressure, it like disengages the cogwheel like while you're writing, but then when you let it back up, it extends the lead back out. So pretty neat. This is the big version of the Kaweco that I carry around. I used to carry this one in my pocket, but it's a little bit big. Again, I'm pretty sure this is a Bach nib, but it's got a regular Schmidt converter in it right now. It also comes with ink refills, and this one is brass. But again, single start. That's one of the nice things about single start is it'll always fit flush, whereas triple start, it might be just a little bit of overhang on one side. And then this is one of the first wood pens I made. I didn't like how it ended up. And I was trying something out too, so it's got a kind of a Franken pen. But it's got purple heartwood on it. I got better at making wooden sleeve pins, but this is like one of the first ones that came to conclusion, we'll say. This was an experiment that just didn't go right, but whatever. And then the forever pencils. I've talked a bit about forever pencils, but this is one of the first ones that I made from start to finish. And then this, because it's going to be an inexpensive thing to begin with, I didn't want to go crazy and make like a whole bunch of different components. So I just cut a little channel for this to just slip over, and it makes it so the clip doesn't go up or down too. It'll still rotate, right? But that's not that big a deal. What else we got? That's about it for this. Oh, I got a smaller one. When I was testing out different sizes of what forever pencil or size of forever pencil I was going to make. These threads are so fine in here, so fine. And that was my concern about it. I didn't want it to like strip or anything while I was working it, shaping it and everything. The forever pencil is just a graphite tip. It's a pressed graphite. I tried out quite a few different ones, different leads that is, but this one writes the best. So forever pencil. So that wasn't pushing very hard, but you can also push it hard. Push it hard. You can even make it lighter. But one of the problems I have with some of the other graphite tip pencils out there is that they don't write for crap. Like it like doesn't lay down any lead, because one, it's not lead, but it just doesn't write very well at all. And as long as you're not pressing too hard, it'll erase pretty good too. But you know, some of the paper that you use is going to be one of the things that contribute to how well it's going to erase, because if you think about it, when you press down with a pencil, it's going to put like a recess into the paper, right? And so it's not going to be flush. So when you're trying to erase it, you've got to get the eraser all the way down into the groove where you did it, where you wrote. So if the paper's not hard enough, or if it's too soft, whichever way you want to look at it, it won't actually reach it. But yeah, the forever pencil, that's one of the projects that I've got in the works that I hope to share with everybody once I get everything else rounded up and working and stuff. I already know the measurements of it, but the other pencil that lets out the automatic, that's it's not a kit right now. Actually, I don't know if it ever will be, but it's not a kit. It's a Japanese pin, or a pin from Japan. It might have, what is it? Is it a Pilot? I don't know. If there's different, I'll buy things that I think are interesting. So it's a Kuru Toga, and it's a 0.3 millimeter. But yeah, this mechanism, this yellow down there, I'd have to take it apart to actually show it. But there's tiny little teeth, there's like tiny little cogwheels in there that make it so that happens. But you could probably rip it apart and, you know, make a new body for it, which is one of the many things I like doing. There's a parallel pin that I'm working on that with as well. Well, I've already figured it out. I just haven't like made a bunch of them or standardized my entire process yet. But these are more like a calligraphy type of pen. So the tip is going to look weird. So this is the parallel pen. So this is actually two pieces of metal right here that are sandwiched together that ink comes out of. And so in order to clean this, you just stick like a tiny little shim that it comes with in between there, and that'll help get the ink out or moving again. But I have made a pen already that fits it. So basically repackaging in a more pleasing way, something like that. So it's got a nice, a steeper taper on it than my other pens because posts. But yeah. Somebody, shoot, probably a year ago now, somebody came in and was asking if I could make a parallel pen. And so that's when I looked into it and figured it out, and boom, there we go. Hadn't heard from him again, but either way, I got it, made it, and it's pretty dang cool if you ask me. Oh, yes. Don't do that. Don't do what? Sorry, I was... Don't do what? Trying to think of what I would have said that would have been a don't do that. Take it apart? Oh. Come on, man. That's what I do. That's all I do. I like to dissect things and reconfigure and put them back together, but I stick to things that are small, because if I took something that was like really crazy, if I took something apart that was like complicated, really complicated, it'd be a real bummer, because I'd forget how I took it apart. And putting it back together would have been a real doozy. Let's see. Of course, small things is your thing. Oh, Ben, what's up, dude? How you doing? I keep seeing the Discord little notification bar popping up. What you got going on over there? I saw put your stuff here if you want to get judged or something to that effect. At least that's how I thought about it. But yeah, I do tend to favor things that are small and or simple, because, well, that's just, I guess, where I like what I like to do or mess around with. Tom, thank you, man. Thanks for that. You're right. You're right. Lots of people absorbing valuable info without liking. That's all right. It's alright, I'll still be here. Only like if I earned it. That's what I want. I want to earn it. And if I hadn't earned it, shoot, tell me what I can do. Tell me what you'd like to see. And I'll acknowledge it. But I wouldn't expect too much more than that. I'm kidding. Yeah, man. That's you know, when I was starting my Discord, that's kind of what I was. That's what I wrote down too. It's like, don't post something if you don't want honest feedback. So it's not because we don't like you. It's not because of this or that, even though it might still be true. But it's because you're going to get that person's opinion on it, and if you're going to put it there, that's what you're going to get. It's not because we're trying to be mean. We're trying to help. Yeah, that's right. Gotta learn. And what better way around people that are doing the same thing you're doing than by somebody else who doesn't really have, they just have preferences on what they like to see, which that's valuable, but in a different way, I would say. See, that's a little bit big of a step there. We're going to take it down a bit more. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to actually fix this right now. What I'm going to do is mark it with a Sharpie, and then it's going to have to get sanded away. Yeah. So we're going to turn this baby down. There. Now it's going to have to get sanded away. Let's see. Does the Forever pencil come in a kit? No, man. This is like, at least for now, it doesn't. But I do have something in the works that maybe we could develop a kit for it, and I would offer it to people that like to hang out. But I'm working with somebody else that likes to hang out and stream as well. So hopefully we can make some progress on that. But yeah, it's not a kit at this moment. But don't speak too loud, because you know it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Not perfect. Oh, hey, speak of the devil. Just kidding. What's up, Brian? Yeah. I've got a project I'm working with Brian on. Nice. I appreciate you. It's good, man. Well, drive safe. I don't know what the weather is like there, but it's cold and rainy here. Let's see. You posted your first pin that you completed? Well, shoot. You want me to pull it up? I'm gonna pull it up and see, and then give you a critique right now, or my thoughts. How brave are you going to be, Ben? I haven't looked yet, so I haven't formulated thoughts quite yet. So. But I can pull it up on my phone and have the picture right there, and then we can look at it. Rip you a new one? Oh man, you know I'm not like that. I can't be like that. Let's see. I'm gonna hop over into the Discord right quick. Let's see what we got. September. Let's see. Show your work. The honest corner. I like it. Oh damn. Ben, do you really want this? Do you want this? I don't know. Do you? We can do this. We can do this behind closed doors, man. But if you're down, I'm down. So I don't want people to feel bad. All right, we'll show it. We'll start there. There we go. Now I'll turn it sideways. That way it fits in frame nice and close. There we go. I gotta say, that looks pretty good from afar. It looks good from afar. I dig it. The wood's cool. I like the antiqued metal components on it. Hardware. But if you're looking for honest feedback, or my thoughts on it, there. Those are my thoughts. But yeah, pretty much immediately I could see some stuff that wouldn't pass the sniff test for me. But I applaud you for doing that. Oh, I don't care about the curves. You can make a straight stick and I'd still like it. That's not the problems that I see. You gonna be okay? All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's have a swig of cafe first. Get hyped up a little bit. Does anybody want to hear me critique a pen or no? Not just any pen. This is Ben's pen. I'll tell you the criteria that are based off of the things that I would do. Yeah, okay. All right, Ben, first and foremost, you know I love you, man. All right. Well, we should just start from one side. We're going to start from the right side here, or the tip side. If you look at it close, you can see a lot of the different things on the hardware here. So it's not necessarily a you problem. It could be the hardware or how you tried to stick it in. The next thing that I notice is that there is the big step from the brass to the wood. I'd imagine that you were a little concerned about getting too narrow on the brass itself. The wood, this discrepancy right here, that's on the wood. That's not on you. What I would do is actually run my fingernail on it, and if it caught, that would be a no-go. Let's see. Following it down some more. This is pretty damn cool wood, I gotta say. Obviously, right here, you can see that the belt's really tight. It's got a it's got the really tight belt. So one of the things that you can see, and then you also imagine from an in-person's point of view, an end user's point of view, what they're looking at, or what they're feeling rather, when they're turning their pin. They probably won't ever even touch that, so probably not going to be a problem as far as function wise. But you can tell that this is larger than it should be. It reminds me of a joke of wooded 0 say to 8, nice belt, because it squeezed the shit out of it. But yeah, and then I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on cam, but you can see these little jagged spots. These little jagged spots from the wood, like you can tell that you were sanding it a certain way and it wasn't quite smoothing. It's probably because the sandpaper was grabbing it and causing it to have some tear out, right? So you can have tear out from other angles other than just circumferentially. So obviously the size component there. You move up a bit. Just on this side, you can see the knot. Again, I'd rub my finger across that to make sure that it felt right. And then if you look really close, you can see that you're taking a picture with the flash on. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you got a good light. And that's just for picture taking. You know, I'd say that the shape itself is fine from what I can see. And then you go all the way up here. This will be the last thing that I'll point out, is that you see that this back end right here does, the back end, the end cap doesn't fit flush with that. And you can see that the clip is canted, which again is a no-go for us. And that could be because it's a loose, or you didn't press it in all the way. Either way, you want the wood to be the same diameter as the finial, and then also the same size as your center band. But other than that, man, good. I will point out one more thing that's not necessarily there. I'd like to see how far out the ink sticks when it's fully, when the transmission's fully engaged. That would be the other thing that I'd want to see. But yeah, like, it looks good. Like, looking at it from here, it looks awesome. I've got really no problem with it. It's when you look at it like up close, you zoom in. So those are my thoughts on it, man. Yeah. Those are all things that I would be practicing different steps to solve. So you're digging the backwards hat. Oh, hey. How much longer am I streaming? How long do you want me to stream? How much longer do I need to be streaming? I'm just kidding. I haven't turned any diamond painting pins yet, so I finished all the pins. If you're still watching, all right, fellers, I gotta quickly validate my work right quick. All right, these are what those look like, Abby. Should have fixed the crack. Well, the crack is on the wood, man. And then if you don't feel anything on it, then I wouldn't mess with it. Although I wouldn't sell it either. So let's see. That pin is 9 years old and has some use. Heck yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, then that's probably is that the clip isn't getting seated anymore because the brass could have expanded, you know, with constant, like when you put pressure on it, it causes it to kind of cam, and so it pulls the top finial into the brass, opening that space up, and it makes it so it'll potentially pop out. But yeah. What kind of wood was that, Ben? It looks cool. Maybe I'll make that into its own little video. Different things I look for when I'm making a pen. But again, that's, you know, my thoughts on it, and I want you to know that if you like the way that that looks, or anybody, if you make a pen that's similar to that, and you have those different things that go along with it, that's fine. That's fine. If you like the way that it looks, do it. Those are just my thoughts on it. So I want to be very clear about that part. Is I've got a thought on it. Somebody else has a thought on it. And I'm not here to make enemies. But, you know, for educational purposes. Let's see. Let's see. You come to Brian. I think Brian's probably got a good 45 minutes, but he's also already in the car, so that can potentially happen. Oh, and I flipped the hat around, Abby, because it kept hitting the camera. I didn't want to keep bumping it, so that's why I flipped it around. Yeah, I like Chick-fil-A too. All right. Well, then no idea about the wood. That's all right. Well, it looks good either way. And that's also, you know, the slimline pin. I think that's the best place to start. It gives you more repetitions for the price, which is dope. Figures? What do you mean figures? Like you knew that's what that was? Come on now. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Shoot. If anybody else wants me to do that with their pens, well, send me a picture. I'll look at it and give you my thoughts on it. But it'll be on the live, so there's that too. I think on a live it makes it a little less personal. But, you know. One of the pins I made recently is a little bit proud too. But I was being pretty hasty because I was just going through some of the other stuff. Using it as an example, really. But yeah. All right. Well, nobody likes a hungry, angry wife. So I guess that's going to be it, man. No diamond painting pins at all. Let's hop over to the big view here. Hey, thanks, Ben. I'm off too. So I will see you next time, buddy. Thanks for letting us take a look at your work. I appreciate it. 9 years ago is a long time. I'm sure you've learned a lot since then. You know, even if it's just turning or what it could or should or you want it to look like. So, heck yeah, man. So I appreciate you you being the guinea pig on that. But yeah, so I hope you have a wonderful day. And I think my dad's coming tomorrow, so I won't be streaming then. But hopefully Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I will be there. Anywho, I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Be safe and see you next time. Take care.